Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Football Fan Show. I'm joined by my co-host and good friend Carlos, and we're here to talk about what's happening. One, on the transfer window, and two, talk about what's going on with all the transfers that are going on. It's amazing what's going on. It's actually fairly exciting. So,
Well, it's a final chance, isn't it, for
yeah,
teams? So they've got to be active and make sure they get it right.
yeah. It's very interesting because um, I don't think I remember it being this excited before, like people trying to get that last minute deal. But I suppose it's a different type of year, isn't it? Usually, most people have done their business. We don't really hear that much about this transfer window, this kind of last transfer window, where people can get people on loan and all the League One, League Two finishes either.
Yeah, this is a very different year, isn't it, because of
Yeah.
everything that's going on. So we've got this extra window of opportunity,
Mm.
and clubs are going to go for it, especially after having seen a few games. Teams are now more aware of where they've got their weaknesses. Maybe there's some injuries as well, so they have to plug those holes. So
Mm.
yeah, we're going to see some more activity.
Yeah, should be interesting. So, let's start from the top. So that this has just happened literally just a minute ago. Um, we talked about it earlier on, but it says officially now, Fulham have signed Terence Congolo from Huddersfield. The fee is around initial 4 million plus add-ons. So, what's your thoughts on that as a Fulham man?
Well, I'm pleased. We were going to sign him for 8 million last year,
Oh wow!
but he failed a medical, so he stayed at Huddersfield. And now they've gone in for him again, but because of those medical issues, the price has come down. Congolo is a good player. He was at Feyenoord in Holland, where he played at left back. Very competent left back, quick, good at coming forward. But when he went to Huddersfield last season, well, not last season, the season that Huddersfield got relegated,
Yeah.
um, he played left-sided centre back in a three-man defence.
Okay.
So it means that he's versatile. He can play centre half, he can play left back. And I think that's something that we need. We don't really need a left back, to be honest, but we do need centre back, especially because we were struggling there, and we signed Anderson from Lyon, and he's now picked up an ankle injury,
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
he's going to be out for God knows how long. So um, that is very unlucky. So that's why I think we really needed to go for Congolo.
And so, what's his medical issues? Do you know what the issues were that why he failed the medical first time around?
No, I'm not aware. I'm not aware.
No one's know.
I'm not sure they always reveal what those medical issues are.
Mm.
But he's been playing.
Yeah.
So this is what I always
Okay,
say
but
about failed medicals. Players play and continue to play, but they fail medicals. And I understand that when you're paying 4 million in this case, or 8 million as it would have been before, you don't want the player to break down a week after you sign him.
like a car sold to you from some used car salesman.
Oh, I've bought a few like those.
So am I. It's one of them I'm driving at the moment. Oh god, what a nightmare. But yeah, we'll see what happens. Well, hopefully he doesn't break down. Like I said, if he's been playing, then hopefully his engine's still running. But talking
Yeah, but
about
you see, the irony is that you can not sign a player for failing a medical, even though he's playing trouble free. But then you sign a player who's healthy, like we did with Anderson, and
yeah,
before he plays, before he makes his debut, he breaks down.
yeah, it's really bad. It's really bad. And talking about failed medicals, what about the whole drama? I don't know if you heard about it with Saad Benrahma from obviously coming from Brentford, going to West Ham. So, if anyone doesn't know what happened, so it was pretty much a done deal. Everyone knew that West Ham wanted Benrahma. They made it quite clear. Um, he went for his medical, and then the soundings were that he failed it. And then Moyes personally chirped up to the press and said he hasn't failed it. There's a few issues with some parts of the medical.
Well, that sounds like a failed medical.
Failed medical. But obviously, for him to be pushed
Yeah.
forward means obviously the bosses wanted him to kind of shut everyone down a bit. But obviously, people don't necessarily like smoke and mirrors. So I'm sure we'll find out in the wash what happened. And then he's actually in now. So officially, he's been signed. And there's pictures of him. I've got pictures up of him. Welcome, Said. He's actually got the West Ham kit on and everything like that. So yeah, it's he's on loan, season long loan, and obviously he can be bought at the end of the loan. So I think that works out probably best for West Ham as well under the circumstances. His failed medical that they put him on loan as opposed to a permanent deal. So yeah, what do you think?
I think he'll do well. He's a good player, skillful, the kind of player that we don't see nowadays because he likes to beat a man.
Yeah.
And he can dribble. He's quick. He played for Algeria this past week away to Nigeria. Now, Algeria have got a very good team.
Okay.
And Algeria won in Abuja. They beat Nigeria away. Now, that takes some doing. I mean, Nigeria are a good team, and especially if they play at home. And Benrahma played. He is a good player. I'm sure that he's going to do very well. He's going to take opponents by surprise because they're not prepared to face players of his ability and his style.
Yeah.
So I think he'll surprise plenty of teams.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll do well. We've seen obviously the move from the Championship to the Premiership for a lot of people actually works out quite well, and they do very well out of it. And the way his style of playing, like I said, that direct football is very unlike the Premiership. Premiership is tiki-taki, pass, 1-2 touch. But actually running at people might be taken a little bit by surprise. So yeah, we'll see what happens.
There are two ways to break down a defense: a through pass and a dribble.
Yeah.
And with teams closing up so much in defense and opponents trying to just pass until they find that gap where they can just put a ball through, it makes it monotonous and it just gives you one option, really. Yeah. But Benrahma's the kind of player who can beat a man and therefore open up a defense. When you beat a man, it pulls the next defender out as well because they have to come out to stop you.
Yeah, of course.
So you create chaos in the opponent's defense. So West Ham, actually, as we've seen in the opening games, are doing quite well. And they're not really playing with a centre forward because Antonio isn't a centre forward. I mean, he's adapted very well and he's scoring goals as he has done before, but he's not really a centre forward. He was more a wide player, wasn't he?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but the rest of the team is doing well. Souček, I think, is a great signing. And I, at the beginning of the season, thought West Ham might struggle, but I've changed my mind.
Yeah, they're definitely looking a solid system in place. Look, Moyes is an experienced manager. He knows what he's doing. He's had some quality Everton sides. I know after that, obviously, he's had a bit of a struggle, really, to find his feet in various places. But he's come back to the kind of style and everything that he likes to play with. So fair play to him. So there's another guy here. So I don't know much about him. It's Cameron Carter-Vickers. He joined Bournemouth on a season-long loan from Tottenham. I don't know much about him. I don't know. Do you know anything about this guy at all?
No. If I'm not mistaken, he's an England youth international.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. But I know the name. And I'm wondering if I know the name, it must be because he's an England youth international. Because okay. I don't think he's played much for Tottenham.
Fair enough. Yeah, obviously not.
But I really couldn't give an opinion because I haven't seen him.
No, I don't know much about him. But one person that we might know a bit about, or you definitely should know about, because obviously he's in the Championship, was Joe Rondon. Moving to Tottenham. I don't know what you think about this guy. Does this show the ambition of Tottenham? So they're paying 11 million, rising to 15 million for a Swansea defender, centre back. I know they need some strengthening up because Vertonghen's gone and all the rest of it. But do you think this is an ambitious move? Do you think it's a good move for this guy?
Well, I couldn't really say. You see, the coverage that the championship got last season, it wasn't last year, it was 2 months ago, was very, very limited here in Spain. It was only when football restarted that we started getting championship matches regularly. So I wasn't really able to see many of Fulham's opponents. But I think if they've singled him out, I guess that he must be an adequate player, because, as you said, Tottenham do need someone at the back urgently as well. You know, they've got, and they usually play Davinson Sanchez, and I don't rate him. I don't rate him at all. He's very fast and he's a strong player, but on the ball, he tends to make mistakes. Yesterday, or the day before, I should say, in the Chile-Colombia, again, he gave the ball away, trying to play it out of defense. And he didn't give a pass astray. It was his control. He tried to control, he tried to dribble the ball out, and he touched it, and it went about 2 meters. And the Chilean just came in and took it away from him, and he had to make a foul. He had to foul the player, and there was a free kick on the edge of the box. So yes, and I think Tottenham do need to strengthen in that position.
Okay, fair enough.
Also, if you bring in another centre half, it frees up Eric Dyer as well, doesn't it? So you're playing elsewhere.
Yeah, and he's more of a utility man, a bit like Ainsley Maitland-Niles, isn't he? He likes to move around quite a bit, but defensively, and come up and down the rest of it. So he can be played in quite a lot of places, can't he?
Yeah.
Eric Dyer. So, but moving on from that, so what about Pogba? So the Pogba's obviously at Manchester United. Manchester United have triggered a 1-year extension in the clause, so he's there now till June 2022. Does he really deserve it? I mean, I'm shocked by this, really. What's your thoughts?
I don't think he deserves it because of his attitude. Right. But when you've got a player like Paul Pogba, it's, I think, very tempting to say, I'm going to hold on to him because potentially he's a fabulous player.
Yeah.
Okay. The only thing is, can you get the best out of him? Can you motivate him? I saw Pogba at Juventus, and he looked like a world beater.
Yeah.
And then I wouldn't say that he was great at the World Cup, but he was good.
He was definitely better than at Manchester United, wasn't he?
Oh, most definitely. Now, what I don't understand is how a player can blow hot and cold like this. Because if you've got the ability, you're getting paid what you're getting paid.
Yeah.
You're making a living, and a very good living, out of something that you enjoy doing, or at least you should enjoy doing it. What is it that that makes Pogba lose his motivation? I really don't know.
Yeah,
is it because Man United are not doing well? But they're certainly not going to do well if he doesn't play to his best ability. You know, he's got to contribute. He's got to do his bit in order for Man U to improve and get to where they want to be.
Yeah.
So I can understand to a certain extent why they wanted to trigger that contract extension, because of what I was saying. You know that you have a player there who can win you matches. The trouble is, he's not doing it.
Yeah, surely, but maybe it's a business decision as well. Maybe they're keeping him on so that they can sell him at a very decent price. Otherwise, if you don't trigger that, then you've only got 1 year left, and you may get virtually nothing for him.
Yes, I agree. It probably has a lot to do with the business side as well. I don't know how long he had on his contract. Was it just a year?
Yeah, there's a year left, so now he's on till 2022.
Okay, so yeah, in that case, it is a business decision, because with a year left, it would have meant that in January he could have negotiated to go for free.
Yeah.
Next June, but he could have started negotiating in January.
Yeah.
and he would have walked for nothing.
Yeah. And he wants to go Real Madrid. He's made no bones about that. He's made it quite clear. And I think, you know, for me personally, I think that's one of the main issues. They came to Manchester United. Manchester United have had several managers come in and go in. And I suppose for a guy like him, I think he wants a more settled situation. Also, I think when he came to Manchester United, he probably sold, well, obviously the money, but sold on the premise that Manchester United are going to really be ambitious and, you know, challenge for the title. They've done none of that, obviously. They've got some real problems. So he knows that fighting for top four again it's only going downhill for them. It's probably not going to happen. Whilst Juventus is winning titles, doing all this and that and the other. And that's why he probably wants to go Real Madrid, because he just wants to have that feeling of winning the title again and the rest of it. That's my personal thoughts on the matter. And the weather's good, obviously, because you're there as well.
You were saying about Man United, and it seems that Donny van de Beek's agent is asking questions as to why his player is not playing.
Yeah.
See, I mean, we knew, we've said it. We said it before, that it was a strange signing, not because of the ability of the player. Van de Beek is a very good player, but there didn't seem to be a place for him to play. Because if you've got Pogba, you've got Bruno Fernandes, and you've got Donny van de Beek, you're not going to play all three. So one has to sit on the bench. It's not going to be Bruno Fernandes.
No.
It might be Pogba, but Van de Beek has just arrived. So I think it was on the cards that he was going to struggle to get into the side. I mean, he might become first choice before the end of the season. But I think his agent is also jumping the gun.
Yeah.
He's only just arrived. He's only just arrived.
And I suppose with all teams and all players, it takes time. It takes time to settle in. The Premiership is very different to wherever you come from. I think about even for Arsenal, William Saliba. He's another one. Have you seen him play a game? You haven't, no, because he's come. He was amazing at Saint Etienne. He struggled. That's the sound, and struggled with the training and just the way and the pace and whatever else. And he was actually supposed to go back on loan back to Saint Etienne after we made such a big hoo-ha about him not playing him, keeping him fit, blah blah blah. He was trying to go back there, but apparently didn't get the paperwork through fast enough. Which shows that it takes time. Some people may look amazing abroad, but when they come here, it's a very different ballgame, right?
It depends on the player, very much. Look at Bruno Fernandes. He hit the ground. Yeah. He arrived and he became the leader of Man United. He's the leader on the pitch, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
And he made a difference. But it all depends on the player. It depends on the character. It depends on the team as well. Everything has to fall into place. It's always difficult moving to not just to a new club, but also to a new country.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And other signs that are going on. So this is obviously outside of the Premiership, but there's talk about Mbappe and Ronaldo doing a swap deal. What, I mean, is this just talk? And apparently it's 360 million bid. So basically Mbappe will go to Juventus, and then Ronaldo will go to PSG. What's your thoughts on that? Is there anything in that?
I think if that happens, I think Juventus will come out the winners. And I think if PSG do that, they're insane. Obviously, not because I don't rate Ronaldo. He's going to score goals wherever he goes.
Yeah.
But the man is 34 or 35.
Yeah. He's fit, though.
He's fit, but how long can he keep going?
Yeah.
Now, if they're just looking for a short-term fix, maybe. But at the end of the day, you've got Mbappe, who is a fabulous player.
Yes.
He can score goals.
World class.
Yeah. Also, you see, you will not. I mean, you can make money out of Mbappe if you sell him. But if Ronaldo goes in 1 or 2 years at aged 36, 37, how much are Paris Saint-Germain going to get? I know they don't care about money.
Yeah.
I know they don't care.
No. Sell some shirts.
A friend of mine who is an agent, has dealt with I don't know what Gulf nation, but he told me once, or he asked me the question. He says, when you wake up in the morning, do you worry if there's going to be enough oxygen for you to breathe? He said, no. I said, no, obviously. And he says, well, that's how they feel about money.
It's just it's just something that's there because obviously the money keeps them flowing. No one. It's funny. Even I don't. When it's funny to talk about oil because I think about here in the UK, the price went plummeted, but now I looked at it. I was shocked. I looked at it. It's back to where it was 3 months ago. So these guys don't have to worry about money for the rest of their lives, and the next generation, and the next generation. All this talk about electric cars overtaking. It's going to take hundreds of thousands of years. I don't know. So,
now the thing about the swap between Mbappe and Cristiano Ronaldo, I don't know if it's a straight swap or what. I don't know what they're thinking.
They're saying 360 million as well.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Who? Paris Saint-Germain would put 360 million as well as Mbappe. So are they saying Cristiano's worth 500 million or 600 million?
I don't know. Remember, this is all talk. So it may, this is.
I thought it was a straight swap. Anyway, you see, you need to change the way you play if you have Mbappe or if you have Cristiano Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Mbappe is quick. He can play on the break. He can beat a player down the wing. He can make a fast move into the box. Ronaldo obviously doesn't have that speed. And he's more penalty box goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah, if he gets the service, he's going to score every time.
Yeah, and he can score from outside of the box as well because he's got a powerful and accurate shot. Yeah. But that doesn't happen as often. Obviously, it's more difficult to do. He's a striker. He's a goal scorer.
Yeah.
But the rest of the team has to play for him. With Mbappe, that's not the case. They can play for him, but he can do things on his own, and he can actually be a provider as well.
Juventus, what's their story? Obviously, they've got silly money as well. What's their story with their money? Is it who owns them? Just out of interest.
Fiat owns them.
Fiat?
The Agnelli family.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So it's actually they've got oodles of money as well.
That family has owned Juventus for generations.
Oh, okay. So let me explain. So I wasn't clear about the bid. The bid is from Juventus. Juventus want to pay 360 million for Mbappe plus Ronaldo. That's what their bid is.
Well, when I understood it was the other way around, I was surprised, but I'm still surprised because that would value Mbappe again at around 500 million.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's would you say he's the best player in the world at the moment? He's one of the top three, but I wouldn't say
he's very good. I think he needs more time to improve. You see, nowadays the media is very, very quick to put players on a pedestal. You have a few good matches, you're young, they build you up, and the whole world starts feeding off the stories that so and so is brilliant, he's fantastic, he's the best in history, or he's the best we've seen in decades. Mbappe is very good. He's among the best right now. But I think he's nowhere near the finished article.
No, definitely not. 100% not. It does shock me that money's been, pandered around. But I mean, obviously, people don't worry. Forget COVID. Forget pandemic. Football is literally in their own bubble. Who has 360 million when people are starving and people are struggling to work? It's crazy. So, but that's what they valued him at. So there you go. So okay, so that's good to talk about. Thank you for that. So the other things to mention is Zabaleta, Pablo Zabaleta.
Oh, really? He's still around?
Yeah, he's announced his retirement.
Oh, I see.
So he's been amazing, obviously, for City, Manchester City, and various other teams. He got released at the end of the season. Was it West Ham? But he's obviously had a fantastic career, and I think a special mention because he did very well, and he was very good and a good asset to the Premiership. So we wish him all the best with his retirement. So there you go.
I think he's a very honest player, hardworking player, gives you 100%. I remember when he was just starting out. I think he was playing for Vélez in Argentina, if I'm not mistaken. Was it? No, San Lorenzo, I think it was.
Okay.
And he was selected for Argentina's under-20 side that went to play in the World Cup in Holland, the under-20 World Cup. And he did very well. I think Argentina won. He was a regular. He was a starter. In those days, he was a fullback. He was a right-sided midfielder.
Okay.
Who would play down the wing with lots of depth. And then, they turned him into a right back because he's so disciplined. Such a good tactical brain as well he has. And let's face it, he had a wonderful career in the UK.
Yeah, he won
a long career as well, because a lot of South Americans who go to the Premier League will not stay for too long. I mean, we have other examples of players who have actually lasted the distance, more or less. Aguero at Manchester City.
Silva as well.
Silva's a Spaniard, yeah. But yes, I think it's rare for someone to stay for so long. And I think he's been very successful without being a beautifully talented player.
Yeah.
You see, so I think there's a lot of credit in what he's done.
Yeah, no, he's had 18 years. You're right, 18 years. That's a hell of a long time. Playing obviously football. He won 2 Premiership titles in the 9 seasons with City back to back. He won the FA Cup, 2 League Cups, and he was in the PFA Team of the Season. And as you said, he's played for Argentina and was at the 2014 World Cup. So a great guy, like I said, honest guy, and he did fantastic. And he's 35 now. So good luck to him. That's what we say. That's all fantastic. So let's talk about the Premiership. It's all coming up. So let's talk about this game, Everton versus Liverpool. That's the first game up. So we've got Everton flying. Absolutely amazing. We talked about it in several other episodes. Calvert-Lewin obviously got his call up and had done well for obviously England. But Everton under Ancelotti, what a team. They've been amazing. And James Rodriguez, again, best player in the Premiership at the moment. Whilst Liverpool are coming off, well, an interesting game, shall we say.
they turned Ollie Watkins into the best player in the world.
Indeed, a 7-2. They probably smashing, but they probably still couldn't sleep well at night, to be honest. But yes, it was pretty bad. So I'm sure they were happy to have the international break, and here they are. So it's at Everton. Everton against Liverpool starts at 12:30. So what do you think this game's going to turn out? Because usually at the moment it's been quite bad. Apart from obviously now, it's been bad. These derbies. It's been so one-sided at home and away. What do you think of this game?
Well, Ancelotti started to show what a great manager he is when last season, in the second game that they played, he managed to get a draw. Against Liverpool. I worry for Everton. I worry about them because they do not have such a big squad. And I think they're very reliant on James Rodriguez right now.
Yeah.
And don't forget, he's just come back from playing the World Cup qualifiers in South America, where he played 2 matches. Colombia beat Venezuela 3-0, where he played very well. Then they drew 2-2 with Chile away. He wasn't that great in that game. But, a long trip, a tiring trip, 2 matches in a short space of time. The match was played on Tuesday.
Wow.
So he probably wouldn't have arrived in now in Britain back on either Wednesday or Thursday, maybe even after a long trip, because it depends whether he would have gone back to Colombia first or whether he would have flown to Britain from Chile. It's true that Liverpool have players in a similar situation. Firmino, for instance.
Yeah.
But even though he's very good, I think Liverpool do not rely so much on one player.
Yeah.
We've seen Liverpool play without Salah, without Sané, without Firmino, the top three players, the front three players, and they've done well.
Yeah.
They've managed to they've managed to win match. Well, last season that was the case against Villa. Sané wasn't there. Sorry, Mane wasn't there, and they got. I don't think it was because of Mane's absence.
Yeah.
And Everton also have Richarlison, who was in South America as well, playing for Brazil. So two very important players in a smaller squad. It might be more damaging to Everton than it is to Liverpool, having had players playing the South American qualifiers. In normal circumstances, had they not played those internationals, I think Everton still think they would have got no more than a draw against Liverpool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm not sure. I think Liverpool might win it.
Yeah, I think Liverpool will win it. I think I agree with you on all those points, and I still think that even though Everton are the informed side, I think the international break gives people a chance to kind of break that circuit. And also, we know how it is when a team usually gets defeated really badly. One of the top six, that's the traditional top six, they usually come back quite strong and want to kind of get out of their system. And I think they want to make a statement. I still think Liverpool and Man City are going to fight for the title. I don't think anybody else really in it. So even though they've had this blip, so yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that game. So what about my game? So Man City against Arsenal. De Bruyne is out. Thank God.
Who's out? Sorry.
Kevin De Bruyne is out. He's injured.
Oh yes, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah. So he got injured and we're playing for Belgium. So that's great news for Arsenal. I still think we'll lose though. But yeah, what's your thoughts on the game? We got Thomas Partey, brilliant. There's been loads of videos and obviously over the top, partying over Thomas Partey. He did well in the international for Ghana. I know they lost the first game, second game he did better, but it's just I think it's over the top really. About the situation. I think Man City is their quality side. I mean, what's your thoughts on the matter?
This is at the Emirates, right?
No, it's at City.
Oh, it's at City. Okay.
Yeah, City, 5:30,
yeah. Well, City are not firing on all cylinders. They're not.
No.
They still have Aguero out and Jesus. So they're struggling up front. In the games leading up to the break, they played Sterling at centre forward. I think they tried Mahrez as well at centre forward.
Yeah.
They're a quality team, but there is something amiss, I think. We've seen Manchester City playing slower football and not have been they've not been threatening enough.
Yeah.
They struggle to create chances, or they have done in the latter weeks of this month. Of the past month. I do think that Arsenal, with their in-your-face style that they've developed, and Thomas Partey will only contribute towards that.
Yeah.
Will make it very uncomfortable for Manchester City.
Okay.
You see, this Arsenal team doesn't really care if it doesn't have the ball.
Yeah.
Whereas before, under Wenger and under Emery, Arsenal was a possession-based team. But not anymore. Arsenal don't mind having to go on the defensive with Arteta and hitting teams on the break.
Mm.
Now, Partey will only help in the defensive work, in trying to plug the holes, and also because he's good at coming forward, he will help in breaking quickly. So I think Arsenal can actually make it very difficult for Man City. I'm not saying they're going to win, but I think they might get a draw.
Okay, that's nice. I like the positivity. I love positivity. We don't even know if Partey's going to play, but I mean, he's been taking the photo, doing this thing, and he played for Ghana, so it's not like he can't play. But I don't know. He might have to do isolation. I don't know if he needs to do 2 weeks, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, the soundings are that he's a very direct player. Like I said, you've seen him probably more than I have because obviously he played for Atletico.
Yeah.
And he's got pace as well.
Also, what we have to wait and see is whether Guardiola plays 4-2-3-1 like he started the season with Rodri and Fernandinho as the two central midfielders, or whether he will go for a 4-3-3. That means just one central midfielder and two players on the outside of the central midfielder. So I think against Arsenal, because the way Arsenal have been playing and because of the threat that Arsenal pose, I think he might go for the twin central midfielders.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. I mean, with Leeds, like I said, it was 4-3-3. Just looking at the lineup there, but obviously De Bruyne's not there. So, yeah, like I said, there's Raheem standing on the left, Mahrez in the middle, Torres on the right, and then the next three, bank of three was Foden, Hernandez, and De Bruyne, and then obviously the guys at the back. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting game. If we get a draw, I'll be more than happy. I'll take that all day long.
Well, yeah, didn't Arsenal beat Man City in the semi-final of the FA Cup?
Yeah,
so
we're a cup team.
Can be done.
Yeah, it can be done. 100% it can be done. Should we talk about your game? Sheffield United against Fulham. This is a 6-pointer again. What do you think? So 12 o'clock on Sunday, your game at Sheffield United. Obviously Fulham, you're struggling. So Sheffield United, you're both struggling. So
we haven't got any points, neither have they.
No. So what's your thoughts on this?
Well, Sheffield United have only scored 1 league goal so far against Arsenal.
Yeah, of course, it's got to be Arsenal, right?
Yeah,
it's always Arsenal.
If we are going to survive, these are the matches we have to be looking to win.
Yeah,
because you're not going to be beating Liverpool at Anfield, are you? So you have to try to pick some away points. If you're going to pick some away points, it's got to be at places like Bramall Lane. Now, Fulham put in a very good performance against Wolves, and we could and should have got a draw there.
That's your best game so far, isn't it, this season?
I think so. We looked more solid. We made less mistakes, although in the 1-0 defeat, the only goal came because of a defensive error. The problem is that we will probably make 2 or 3 bad mistakes, because we do.
Yeah.
So if the opponent can take advantage, then you're in trouble. But Sheffield United, as I said, are a team that has only scored once in the league so far. So they're obviously not an attacking force. So if we can play a solid game, if we can reproduce the game that we played against Wolves, very, very organized, played on the break. Well, in fact, there were moments when we actually controlled the game and dominated play. Abubakar Kamara missed a very easy chance when we were 1-0 down. So as I say, if you take into account that the goal that we conceded was avoidable, and then Kamara missed a chance that we should have scored, I guess that's what happens when you have a mediocre team. But they certainly, I think, have the capability of going to Bramall Lane and getting something.
Yeah, I hope you do. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be a snore draw. I don't think it's going to be any goals. I think both teams are going to be so desperate to score. The first half is going to be messy and frantic. But I think second half, everyone's going to want to ensure that they don't lose. So I mean, hopefully it's frantic the whole way through. We like those games, but I think
Don't forget we've got Loftus Cheek now.
oh, okay, yeah, fair enough.
Good player.
Yeah, he's a good player. Yeah, I mean, look, if you win, I'll be very happy for you. But I think
Thank you.
hopefully, you surprise us and yeah, do some damage up in Sheffield. Now, with all the restrictions going on, I wonder there's no issues with that. No, I don't think so. There's no issues with the game.
No, because the team will just shuttle in, go straight to Bramall Lane, play, and come out. They won't be moving around the city.
Yeah. No, that's fine.
I guess that's how they do it.
Yeah, they've got to keep it quite tight, haven't they? Okay, good. So let's talk about some of the games. So Tottenham, West Ham. That's going to be interesting. So Tottenham obviously bought the defender. West Ham are hungry as well. It's a London derby. How do you see this going? That'll be on Sunday.
I don't know if I'm mistaken, but don't West Ham usually, well, at least in the last few years, don't they beat Tottenham?
Yeah, they do. Which is good.
Tottenham have been in good form. They've been playing very quick and direct football. They've reminded me of a Mourinho team of 10 years ago, I must say. Okay. Harry Kane has slightly changed his position. He's dropped back a bit, and he's more the provider than the finisher. There's a good connection between Kane and Son.
Yeah.
Son has been the main goal-scoring man. But the problem is that West Ham are not going to open up.
No.
That's the problem for Tottenham. West Ham are not going to open up, so they will not give those spaces that other teams have given. Southampton, for instance.
Yeah.
Newcastle, I think, was the other team. They're not going to give Spurs the chance to run at them.
Man United.
Man United, yeah. Man United was the yeah. So I think West Ham are just going to sit back, soak up whatever Tottenham throw at them, and I don't think Tottenham are as good when they're dominating play. When they have the ball, I don't think they're as good. I think they prefer to play on the break.
Yeah.
And the roles will be reversed. It'll be West Ham who will be trying to hit them on the counter.
Yeah.
So I think West Ham will get something out of this game.
Yeah. Well, according to Harry Redknapp, Tottenham are so good, they're going to win the league, apparently.
Well, Harry, I don't know if he was coming out of the pub when he said that.
Yeah, good. I think he was. Well, it's funny because he said it. This is when the first deadline happened, and then the rest of the session, when they kept on prodding him about it, he kept changing his tune. He said, "Oh, Liverpool's my team to win it now. Manchester City, they're a brilliant team, but no, Tottenham can do it." But anyway,
well, give me 20 attempts, and I'll definitely get it right.
Yeah, exactly. Oh dear, right. So there's only looking at the games. There's only one more really. I know, maybe two. So let's talk about Leicester City, Villa. Sorry. Before we go, Tottenham, West Ham. Gareth Bale might be starting. Gareth Bale.
Well,
so we'll see what he's about.
Starting what? Starting what?
Well, there's all the hype about it, and we all waiting to see what he can really do after all the big talk. See if he's fit enough. Apparently he is. See if he can score goals. Obviously, they're going to have to change their formation. Mourinho said that there's a fair chance he could play. So we'll see.
The question is, you see, when you bring in a player like that, is Would they start him on the bench? I'm not sure that a player of that stature would start the game on the bench. I think that when he's available, he will be in the starting 11.
Yeah.
But how will the rest of the team feel if they're doing so well, because they are right now, they're doing really well, if suddenly, just because Gareth Bale arrives, someone is dropped?
Yeah.
You see, you remember I was telling you about teams that are doing well and sometimes bringing in someone else, and that turns out to be disruptive.
Mm.
I think that's what might happen with Gareth Bale's arrival.
Mm. Yeah,
because Spurs don't seem to need him right now.
They don't.
And, he's going to be a big name that walks into the team having done nothing to earn a first-team spot. Because he hasn't yet, has he?
No, of course not. He's been on the golf.
A player who has definitely earned a first-team spot is going to be dropped. That is if indeed Gareth Bale starts the game.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting one, and we're going to talk about it on Monday. So we'll definitely see how that all develops. But I agree with all of that. I think he is going to come, and if he doesn't perform, what are they going to do? It puts them in a conundrum, doesn't it? Because we know what Mourinho's like, but we know what the top one. So
exactly. Yeah,
it's going to be very much interesting.
It's going to be very interesting to see.
Yeah,
he's going to have to deliver immediately.
Yeah, that's the pressure on him. So we'll see. I know it doesn't seem to be too perturbed about it or bothered. To be honest, if I was
doesn't seem to be bothered about anything, really, does he?
Yeah, that's a very fair point.
That's the impression he gives, at least.
Yeah, well, I mean, how many years has he got left on his contract with Real Madrid? Is it 2? Not long, is it?
I really don't know. I guess, yes, I think it's 2.
It's 2. So he's not got long. So for those 2 years left, he's going to make the most of it, right? And just earn the money and do whatever's needed to keep earning that money. There's enough money for pension there. And golf as well. Bit of golf. Oh, dear. But right, 2 more games. So Leicester Villa. So Leicester been doing okay. Villa, we know what they've done. What's your thoughts on that game?
Well, again, we were talking about West Ham doing well, and they beat Leicester 3-0 away, didn't they?
Yeah, we did.
That was a game I thought Leicester would win. Leicester had won every match up to that point.
Yeah.
And they were playing well.
Yeah.
And if I was a betting man, I would have put money on Leicester. But they were just taken to the cleaners, weren't they, by West Ham?
Yeah, and they were at home. That's the worst thing about that 3-0 loss to West Ham.
Yeah.
They were at home.
No, I don't think that the West Ham result is going to have a bearing on what Leicester do against Villa. But then Villa are coming off a 7-2 victory over Liverpool.
Yeah, Ollie Watkins.
So, Garincha. I mean, Ollie Garincha. Villa are going to be full of confidence.
Yeah.
They're going to feel that they can beat anyone.
Yeah.
And to be honest, they played a good match against Liverpool. But they shouldn't get carried away, because there were a lot of things that contributed towards that scoreline.
Of course.
And, it's a freak result, really.
Yeah.
So Villa should, and I'm sure they will, go into this game with great care, great respect for Leicester. And I actually think that Leicester will win.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think Leicester will be well up for it. I'm unsure. I'm unsure just because Leicester's so unpredictable at the moment. I think Villa will go there. Villa have shown home and away. I mean, obviously away, fair enough, at your place, but but they were away.
3-0. We did better than Liverpool.
Yeah, exactly, in emphatic fashion. So I think Leicester could do it, but I'm going to go Villa. I think they've got some momentum. I think once they get hit and they get defeat, I think it'll drop them down a stage or two, and they may not actually be able to carry the momentum forward. But with a team like that, their momentum is fragile, but whilst they've got it, they're going to make the most of it, I think. So we'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about Monday. And the last game we'll talk about is Leeds United Wolves. So Leeds, Bielsa magic. He sprinkled his little magic dust on, and they've been amazing in every game they played. Wolves last year were amazing. This year they're okay. They're doing okay. Obviously, unfortunately, they beat you, but only just, only just. But overall, Wolves are definitely not as strong as they were last season. They got thrashed 4-0.
Everyone beats us.
To be honest, to be fair to you, it's only week 5. It's only week 5. The season we got obviously 34, 33 games left, so plenty of time to recover. Hopefully,
yeah, only 5 games, but it feels like 100.
It's funny how you guys talked about when you got promoted, how this season is going to be horrible, and yeah, unfortunately, well, it's only start of the season, but it's come to pass so far.
So far, yeah. So far. We know our team, Vartan and I. Yeah, we know our team. Yeah, I remember some great Leeds Wolves clashes in the 70s.
Wow.
When they were obviously Leeds were the best team in the country.
Yeah.
Even though they only won 2 league titles over that period. Liverpool won some, Arsenal did the double in that same period. Leeds reached the European Cup final. Wolves played the UEFA Cup final against Tottenham. But there were some good clashes between Leeds and Wolves. And this, I think, is going to be another good clash. But I think Leeds will have too much for them, because I've noticed a drop in form in Wolves. They're not the team so far. They're not the team of last season. People were thinking, they're going to progress. They're going to improve. They're going to build on what they did last season. But so far, it's not been the case. And having struggled to beat Fulham the way they did, I think, is proof that they're not really going through a good patch.
No, I agree. I think Leeds will do them 100%. I think, like I said, they're going for a tough patch. We've talked about it so many times, talked it to death about teams who are doing well. Even Sheffield United in that boat as well. You do so well, and then whether it's the season later or the season after that, they struggle, and some obviously go down, and some fight their way out of it. The only one really success story at the moment that's really kind of pulled themselves out of the mire is Burnley, but they've got a great manager. Really, Sean Dyche is brilliant, and fair play for him to stay. And we know obviously he had his issues, but I don't know if Wolves are going to be in that boat as well. Wolves have been up and down a lot, and if they go down, they'll probably come straight back up again. They're kind of like a Norwich, aren't they?
It depends on whether the super agent Mendes decides to remain connected to the club or not. He's now using Wolves as a shop window for his players.
Yeah,
and Wolves are benefiting, obviously. Diogo Jota has gone to Liverpool. Again, proof that Wolves is a shop window.
Yeah.
And what we have to see now is, one, whether if Wolves don't do as well, are these good players like Jimenez, for instance, the Mexican centre forward, is he going to stay? Maybe not.
Probably not, no.
Yeah. And Neves, so many players who are very good players, but will only stay there if Wolves are doing at least as well as they did last season. If they did go down, I think Mendes would pull the plug, and the players would go, and there would be no funds for new signings. You see, the thing is also that a lot of these players are on loan.
Right.
So it means that if they went, the Wolves would not be making any money. So they would find it more difficult to make new signings to replace them.
Yeah, it's a tough one, really. Well, so You said about a super agent. Is he connected to the manager or to the club? I thought it was more the manager, wasn't it?
What, the agent?
The manager goes. Would the agent stay? That's my point I'm trying to make.
If the manager goes, would the agent stay? Yes, I think he would, because he is he's using Wolves to promote his players.
Okay.
The question is, would the top Portuguese players at Wolves want to stay if the Portuguese manager wasn't there? That's a different side to it.
Yeah. No, that's what I was kind of half getting at, is that these guys, it helps that, obviously they've got the type of manager they've got. It's just like Arteta with all these guys that we've got, all these Brazilians. If we didn't have Edu as our director of football, there's no way David Luiz and all these type of players would be coming. Willian, no way.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting one.
Gabriel, the defender.
Gabriel, all these guys, they're just not going to come without Edu's a legend in Brazil, and there's an Arsenal legend. So it's one of those. It works that way.
By the way, you might be interested to know that Martinez did not get a game for Argentina.
Oh, really? Why not?
He's not first choice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
He's yes, Martinez is a great player. I love him so much.
I think he should get his chance with Argentina.
Is the guy who's first choice, is he advanced in years or?
No, not really. Franco Armani. But I don't think he's as good as Martinez.
Yeah. Well, hopefully common sense will prevail.
Yeah. By the way, is he on loan or did you actually sell him?
No, we sold him.
You sold him.
Yeah, so we got that. We got another goalkeeper and a young guy who's obviously happy to be number 2. But he's gone. He's gone. I think it's fair to release after 10 years. I think let him go and do his thing. We're definitely not going to make him first choice. We've done it with several other players before. Fabianski at West Ham. Yeah, he was with us. Szczesny, I think, is it Roma?
Juventus.
Oh, Juventus. Okay, yeah, fair enough. So Juventus, they were all our first choice, but we sold them and they've all done well wherever they've gone. So, yeah, I think it's fair for Martinez. So fair play to him. And it's a nice one to finish on, actually. So thanks. Anything else I've missed, Carlos? I think that's it, isn't it?
Yes, you missed predicting a Fulham win.
Oh, Fulham, of course they're going to win. It's going to be 3-0 to Fulham. I imagine I get that right. Oh my God, that'd be unbelievable. 3-0.
One thing I'd like to say, last Monday, there was a Yorkshire derby.
Okay.
In League 2. Okay. You know, Harrogate made it to the Football League. They got promoted out of the National League last season. For the first time ever, they're a league team. And they played Bradford City away.
Okay.
Do Bradford City still play at Valley Parade? I don't know, because so many teams have changed their ground. But anyway, they went away. So Yorkshire derby, and Harrogate beat Bradford City 1-0.
Wow. Bradford City, that's amazing. So Bradford City are still in the National League, or whatever it's called.
No. This was in League 2.
Oh, League 2. Oh, in League 2.
Because Harrogate got promoted into the league.
Oh, okay. And Harrogate beat them in League 2. Bradford City. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. Bradford City, I know. Well, there's always been talk about Bradford City trying to get up, but not having the funds and blah, blah, blah. So, no, that's brilliant.
Bradford City are the first team I ever saw live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why were you in Bradford?
I wasn't. I was at Craven Cottage. It was Fulham Bradford City.
And I assume Fulham beat them.
0-0. That was my first ever match live. That was in the old Division 3.
Oh, lovely. I can't remember.
And I went back, the idiot.
Oh, well. I think my first game actually watching was QPR, because that's why I grew up near them. But it wasn't Arsenal. It was QPR. I can't remember who they were playing, but it's one of those. So there you go. That's what they do every day. So yeah, brilliant. Right. Okay, good. Well, thank you so much.
I managed to find the program for that game online, and I bought it. The very first match I ever went to. Yeah.
Oh wow, yeah.
I've got it.
You actually played you got the video, or you just
No, no,
watched
no.
it?
The program, the program.
Oh, the program, the actual program. Oh wow, oh wow, you got the program. That must be worth a few, Bob.
I only paid a fiver for it.
Oh, brilliant! I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, it's good memorabilia.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah, definitely.
brilliant. Right. We'll leave it there. Thank you so much, Carlos, as always. A pleasure.
Pleasure, Malcolm.
So, thank you so much, everyone, for watching the Football Fan Show. Thank you for the guys who've come in. And yeah, leave some comments. And yeah, we'll be back on Monday, 7:30, after all the games are done and dusted. And we'll see if our predictions are right, including the 3-0. So, thank you so much. And thank you for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching the Football Fan Show.